Mr. Charles Johnson. This is round two, second part of our special council meeting tonight about our conference center proposals. Welcome again, everyone.
Yes, thank you. We'd just like to introduce your team, and thank you very much. We've reviewed the materials that you all submitted, and we look forward to hearing your presentation tonight.
Very good.
And you have 30 minutes, and we'll keep the time.
Very good. Thank you. My name is Scott Earhart, and I'm part of the Earhart Group, Earhart family. And the principals in this proposal, in this project that we have for us is myself, my father, Spike Earhart, my brother, Stan Earhart, and Trey Propes, who is a general manager here for our Candlewood Suites that's in town here, and he will be a principal in this project. Our architect is Jerry Campbell from Central Design Group out of Columbia, Missouri, and I guess what I have for you today is basically three questions that need to get answered. I guess why a conference center, and why downtown McCarty Street and Broadway, and then why the Earhart Group. And so that's the three things we'll be talking about. I think why a conference center, it's probably a pretty short discussion. We've been after a conference center in this town for a good number of years, and you guys all know that. One thing that I have, and I put it in my presentation, and I guess I'm assuming that you guys all have our presentation that we submitted. Okay, so one thing I feel that Jeff City has gotten left behind in the lodging industry because they didn't have quality meeting space, and quality meeting space is something that's needed in this community, and I guess this is a way to get quality meeting space in Jeff City. And then it's not the only reason why Jeff City has maybe been left a little bit behind in the lodging industry, but it is one of the main reasons. And I guess from star reports that have been out there, and I included those in the package, that a lot of mid-scale markets have grown RevPAR from $40 to $50, whereas Jeff City's RevPAR in the hotel industry has remained around the low 30s, 32, 33. And so it is something that is dramatically needed for Jeff City to grow and for Jeff City to thrive. So I know it's something that that for the last 20 years you guys have been working diligently on, and it's so I think we're all in concession there that we need this meeting center, we need this place to gather and to greet people and to host people in Jeff City. So then the other next question would be why the downtown McCarty Street site, and I think it's pretty simple. It is just the right site. It's centrally located. One thing that I had in my proposal is we've received three things from the communities, different organizations in town that support the downtown site. I think it's something that the people of Jeff City, when they voted on the lodging tax, the 4% lodging tax, it was the downtown site was what was talked about, and I think it is just the right site. It has proximity to quality hotel rooms to accommodate the largest gatherings possible, and so it's beneficial. It has great visibility, and it is a crossroads of Jeff City, located on Highway 50 with clear visibility from 54, and it also allows for future development in that area, the downtown area, and it makes for the downtown area to be more vibrant. Okay, so then after that, I guess the next thing would say why the Earhart Group, and I guess we look at this project as a stewardship project with the $9 million that is going to the meeting space, and while there is a profit motive that we feel like the profit motive is a driving force, but it is for this project to be a public-private partnership, it needs to have a degree of diligence, and so stewardship is something that we look at definitely for this project to really make the city proud of what we are doing. As a group, as the Earhart Group, we have excelled in developing and operating award-winning hotels. My father has been in business since 1965 in Missouri, and we have currently have 25 hotels, and 16 of them are in Missouri. And I'd like for Spike to say a few words and kind of tell a little bit about himself.
Thank you, Scott. Mr. Mayor, City Council members, we appreciate the opportunity to be here and make this proposal. Like Scott said, we started in business in 1965. Really didn't start in the hotel business. We started in a fast food restaurant business. We actually started building them and operating them, and we actually built about 40 of them up to about 1990. And my sons, 3 oldest sons, got old enough to come back and help in the family business, and they joined me. And from that point, we went on to 1997. We had 65 Hardee's restaurants that we operated. And all of our sons and myself were all hands-on in the restaurant business then. And before we actually sold in 1997 the restaurants, we actually, I dabbled in the motel business, and I started my first one just 25 years ago next week in Macon, Missouri. It was Economy Lodging, Super 8, and I went on to build 4 of them before we sold restaurants back to the company. In 1997, we had 4 hotels, and then we had 65 Hardee's, and the Hardee's came to us and said, we think we can operate these restaurants better than you can. And we didn't really want to sell, so we actually sold the operations, and we retained the land and the building, and we became a landlord company and a leasing company. And then from that point, we went on to build other restaurants. We built and leased back McDonald's and Denny's and Panera Bread and Buffalo Wild Wings and several different other entities. But since we sold all the restaurants at that point in 1997, the sons wanted to get into motel business like I was, because that was the easier way to go. So we went on to build a couple more Wyndham products, and then we got into other brands. And today we have 5 brands. The next brand we built was the Choice, which is 3 Comfort Inns and Comfort Inn Suites and a Mainstay. We built a Hampton, Hilton product. We then went and built IHG products. We got 7 IHG products, a Holiday Express, and 6 Candlewoods, which we have a Candlewood here in Jeff City out on Emerosa Drive, 80 unit. And it's worked out to be a very, very good location for us. And that was a very good venture into the IHG product line, Holiday Express and the Candlewoods. And then we also have our 5th franchise is the Marriott product. And the Marriott product, we got first involved with Marriott's back in 2000 down in Fort Leonard Wood. We had a Fairfield that we purchased, and then we went on to build Town Place in Oklahoma. We built a Fairfield in Oklahoma. We built a Courtyard by Marriott downtown Tulsa, 415 South Boston in Tulsa. It's a 12-story Atlas Life building that we renovated, and it's a 120-unit Courtyard by Marriott, operating very well. Been open 4 years ago this month, and it's our highest volume and one of our best products we have. Then we also built a Residence Inn by Marriott over in Springfield, Illinois last year. So that brings us to a total of 5 Marriott products which we have. We think it was a very fine choice that our farmers came up with the Marriott product, because this is our product also. That was our choice also. And it also happens to be a Courtyard by Marriott that we chose also. We feel it's very good. And we had Marriott in town actually kick the tires, walk the site of the site we have down on Broadway and MacArthur. And they felt that the site was very, very good. They were in several months back, and they feel it's a very, very good site. So we would definitely choose, if we were chosen, we would choose Marriott and probably a Courtyard by Marriott. So we probably, with 2 of us choosing that should be the brand we should go with. So from that, we have 25 hotels right now. We actually built 23 of them from ground floor up, and we actually purchased 2. We purchased one back in 2000, was a Fairfield by Marriott, and we actually purchased one yesterday in Springfield, Illinois, a Comfort Inn. So they only purchased 2, but we built 23 of them over the period of years and in the 25 years of doing business. And we also presently have a IHG product, a Holiday Express, a 97 unit under construction over in St. Joe, Missouri. As you can see, we're pretty heavily invested in the hotel business. We have I think it's 2,027 rooms that we rent each night, and we are out to please our guests and try to get them back in. We have a great management team, hands-on, as you see Trey here, and we have a lot of general managers like Trey out running those operations for us, and we're out in the field every day. My sons and myself none of us like the office. We like getting out and hands-on and taking care of our guests, pleasing our guests. So the 2,027 rooms doesn't sound like too many, but if you multiply it times 365, you come out with 739,855 rooms a year. So it's quite a few rooms, but still, we take care of the customers one at a time. So we feel it's the Marriott product would be very, very good for this area, I guess, for several reasons. The actual Marriott, it would sell here in Hannibal. Courtyard by Marriott would really sell here in Jefferson City. We think it's the right brand for the area. We really feel strong about it. And the Marriott Courtyard slogan is, it's a new stay. So I guess we would like to make that new stay for here in Jeff City. Really would. Scott.
Thank you. Thanks. So that's a little bit about our heritage as a family and as a hotel group. We have a strong group of operators, and we're in the field every day. One thing I brought with us is something we're pretty proud of. This is the new hotel opening of the year from Marriott for our Residence Inn that opened June 19th of last year. So we just got this Friday, and I thought I'd show it off a little bit. But we are quality operators. We know how to take care of the guests, and we know how to run hotels. The person that does that for us in town here is Trey Propes, and I'd like to introduce him. He's been with us from the start of our hotel here in Jeff City, the Candlewood Suites. We built that in 2005, and we're 8 years here, and we're a very strong hotel. We know the market. We understand the market. There's 15 hotels. There's 1,500 rooms in town, and it might seem like a lot, but it's a compared to other cities like Columbia or Springfield, obviously Kansas City, St. Louis, but Branson and things. It is a smaller market, but it is on the Star Report. You can see that it is identified as a separate line item, and it does show your occupancies, your rates for months, and then for the whole year. And I did include 3 years of Star Report data for you guys. But I'd like Trey to talk a little bit about himself and about his experiences in the hotel industry.
Thank you. And first thing I'm going to do is put that back on here. Despite Mr. Scrivener's advice, I kind of like having something to lean on a little bit. First of all, thank you, Mayor, City Council, citizens of Jefferson City. I do appreciate your time today because I'm one of you. Scott Earhart earlier proposed a great question that I would like to take back up. That is, why the Earhart Group? It's a simple question, but it's not a simple answer. First, we are the only presenter that is both experienced and local. Our experience lies in the almost 50 years in owning Missouri businesses by Spike Earhart and his family. Our experience speaks for itself with our partnership in this project with Marriott Hotels. Our experience is found in the number of award-winning hotels we already operate and the quality of the people we employ at all of our locations. Scott likes to bring out his brand new one, but I've got 6 awards at our little hotel here in Jefferson City, including 2 Outstanding Employee Awards for all of IHG, all their 3,000 hotels. We've had the best salesperson one year, and we had the best maintenance engineer another year, just right here in Jefferson City. We are local, having celebrated our 8th full year at Candlewood Suites in Jefferson City on May 31st, just a couple of days ago. As a proud principal in this project, I am local. I've made Jefferson City my home for almost 20 years. My 2 girls were born just down the road at St. Mary's Hospital. They're 17 and 14 years ago, both 17 and 14 years ago. My boys, who are 9 and 7 years old, were also born at St. Mary's Hospital. I've been a member of the Trinity Lutheran Church for 16 years, serving on the school board for 8 years and as a church deacon for 14. I've been a Jefferson City Chamber ambassador, a member of multiple chamber committees. I've also been a member of the CVB's Athletic Events Committee, a former youth sports coach through the Y, and a regular attendee of the CVB Hotel Motel Council meeting. All of these things make me local, but it's more than that, and it should be. The Candlewood Suites is local as well, because from the time we came into the market, we incorporated ourselves into the community. We support, through monetary donation or donation of rooms, so many worthy community projects. The YMCA expansion, local schools and their programs, the American Red Cross, Leadership Jefferson City through our Chamber of Commerce, Lincoln University, Capital Arts, the Art in the Park program, Operation Guardian Angel, and many, many other charitable organizations and programs through our partner companies in this community. So we are both experienced and local. Second, we initiated talks concerning a conference center with city officials over 4 years ago and have been at the table ever since. I was a member of the Chamber Committee that brought meeting planners together from both the state and association markets. In that meeting, we listened and we learned what it was that people who will be booking rooms and conferences want, what they need, and what makes the difference between competing locations. Finally, we've always kept our word. We've done exactly as we said since coming to the table 4 years ago. When the city saw cooperation of the local hotel community to pass a lodging tax that would partially fund a conference center, we were all on board. By the time the vote came up, we were the only hotel that stuck to their guns and remained in favor, supporting the lodging tax as agreed with the city when almost all other hoteliers joined in a coalition to try to stop it. That is the kind of partner you should want with the conference center. A partner you know, a partner with award-winning hospitality experience, a partner who's still at the table after 4 years that you can rely on. Our project focuses on a 30,000 square foot meeting facility with a Marriott Courtyard Hotel. Again, that's a great choice. Our project also answers parking issues that the city currently has in the downtown area. We appreciate your time, your consideration, and most of all, the opportunity that you've given all of us here. And to speak a little bit about the project, I'd like to introduce Jerry Campbell, architect with Central Design Group from Columbia.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. These guys have done a pretty good job of explaining the project to this point. As you can see, I'm not sure which, this board right here is basically the site layout of the building. And there's also another board that shows the location of the building or the complex in the downtown area near the Capitol. Our proposal is to create a parking structure that will accommodate the required parking for the two buildings in close proximity to the structure, which is a really a large element to being feasible for access in and out of the structure, as well as just serving the building appropriately with parking. The location of it too is near the Truman Building downtown in Jefferson City. It has great visibility from Highway 50, and then also near the Capitol, just with individuals flowing to and from the Capitol. I'm sure we're going to have a chance to answer more questions later about the structure, but wanted to touch a little bit about that right now, and the exhibits are pretty clear as to what the shape of the building is. So.
Very good. Yeah. So you know, I think the city has a great opportunity here. The farmers presented a great proposal, and I think they were spot on with Courtyard by Marriott. I think it's a great fit for the town. To speak a little bit about a Courtyard, it has I think this right here shows kind of the setup of the lobby area. It has a bistro bar which serves food and beverage, and it's a very functional lobby. Marriott has put a lot of emphasis and focus and study into a lobby setup, and we, with our Courtyard down in Tulsa in the Atlas building, it is a very functional lobby, and it's something that the guests really enjoy. The cubicles provide privacy when somebody wants to be private, but then at the same time, if the social aspect of the lobby is pretty dramatic, and I'm sure you guys have maybe been in a courtyard by Marriott recently and had a chance to experience that, and it is a very, very neat design, and it's pretty much spot on of what will work in this environment. So the financial side of our proposal, I'm sure you guys have seen that, and we have it listed out there of the conference center, the cost associated with the conference center, and then costs associated with the hotel, and then a total project cost of $36 million there. The parking garage is something that we feel has to be built by the city and the city parking fund, and through the parking fund balance, the cash balance, and the bondability, we feel like it's something that can be done, and that parking is functional parking for the hotel, for the conference center, and for downtown visitors. And then also the size of the hotel, being a 200-room hotel, is something that we have reservations about also. We feel like a hotel this size is something that we don't want to fund personally, and so we feel like there needs to be revenue bonds associated with that to fund this hotel. If the city would explore a smaller sized hotel, a 150-room hotel, that would be something we would be more comfortable with. But I'd be happy to talk numbers when it comes to the difference between a 150-room hotel and a 200-room hotel. But there is some substantial data that shows that a 200-room hotel probably won't be viable, not in this present market, and the way it is set up. So, with that said, I'd like to open things up to questions.
Okay, start to my right. Bob.
Thank you. Thanks for the background information. I appreciate that. I did it caused me to think of a couple of questions. Have you talked about your hotel properties and how many you had? Do you operate a convention center or conference center with any of them, or are they all just hotel properties?
They're mainly limited service hotels. We do have meeting space associated with those hotels, but nothing to this size.
Okay.
Yes.
So this would be your first venture as far as a conference?
Yes.
Okay. And it sounds like you've had really good growth. Have you had any setbacks with any of your hotels? Have you had to close any or sell any, or have you just keep adding?
We've ever since the first Super 8, which we still own, we've never sold a hotel. We kind of say we know how to build them, we know how to operate them, and I guess we've bought a couple, but we just don't know how to sell them. So
okay. Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yes.
And
yes.
And question I had, but I think you've already answered it. Actually, I had written down here to ask you if you had any concerns about the size of the hotel, the request for 200 units and
Yes.
a 30,000-foot conference center. You said you had a concern about the hotel size. What about the conference center size? Any concern that and maybe the folks from Marriott might have had some conversation with you about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, between that 20 to 30,000, I think we're pretty comfortable with. We're not comfortable with anything larger than 30,000. Definitely not.
Okay, thank you.
If I can collaborate a little bit and kind of let you know what I think that Kurt probably put it very well. This is going to be a flowing project. Whoever you choose, whether it's Farmer Holdings or whether it's the Earhart Group, we are going to have to work together. So figuring out the exact size of this hotel, figuring out the exact size of the conference center, the breakout rooms, all that stuff is going to have to flow over a period of time and make sure that we do it right, not do it in a hurry.
One last question. I can't see the detail on your board there. Does your space contemplate a kitchen facility to service the convention center with?
The courtyards have a bistro bar that has a set kitchen inside that area for just the lobby area. So that will be separate from a conference space kitchen and kitchen facility. So there will be, I mean, the hotel will have its own, the conference center will have its own.
So you would contemplate it being actually in the conference center?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Mr. Henry?
For the city's investment of $9 million, will we, 30,000 square feet, would that be suffice for you guys, or would you need to come back and need a subsidy for anything or anything more?
Again, with the market, looking at the PKF study and the years since that study was concluded, I don't believe, as did Mr. Farmer, that study is very viable. I can't answer whether we would or we wouldn't, but if we work together, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to figure out the best way to do it. But again, I can't say definitively that we wouldn't either. But I can't say that we would. The nice thing about this location is there are some quality hotel rooms within a stone's throw. You barely have to walk. They're just right there. And whether you're talking about the fine hotel at the Capitol Plaza, the DoubleTree, or the Baymont Inn and Suites, which is on the other side of the highway, there's plenty of rooms there to overflow to and to push business that way when we do fill up. So I agree with everyone who said the right size. The right size is important, and we're not looking to take market share from anybody. We're looking to grow the market. So I can't say definitively, sir, whether it would or it wouldn't at this time, but it is something that is possible, but we're going to have to work through it together to figure that out if chosen.
Carrie?
I also wanted to comment, and you mentioned it earlier, Trey, that you all were involved several years ago and have been at the table, and I do want to thank you for your commitment, because it shows me that you see the value in this project, you see the same vision, that this is a viable project in this location, and that it just means a lot, because it's a commitment of a lot of time, a lot of meetings, a lot of hours, a lot of thought that's gone into this project, and you've looked at it and known that it's taken us some time to get to this place where we had the right lodging tax and the right mix. And you've stuck with it, and I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You know, we have the easy job. We just get to tell you about ourselves. You have to choose between two great options. Yes.
Anyone else on my right at this time? I have a question, gentlemen. In your drawing here, it shows 320 parking spaces. Currently on that lot, the state's currently using between 100 and 140, 150 spaces. Your 320, does it include making the state whole, so to speak, on those other spots?
Those spaces, I guess, occupied by the state, is usually during the day, and definitely not for a hotel at night. And conference space would be during the day. One thing that probably goes along with this is the other side of Broadway being used for surface parking, and that need to be something that would need to be incorporated with this plan.
So the 320 doesn't include anything for the state, is that?
Correct.
Okay. And then did you happen to put pencil to what 320 spaces with that elevation, all the above, might cost? Don't need it now, but in the future, I'm sure we will. But I'm sure that's got to be a pretty good sized number.
But the cost for that, and incorporated in the whole total cost, is not actually broken out.
Okay. Because you're expecting us to build that, but just so I understand and the council understands, you expect 320 spaces to be enough for your conference center and a hotel combined, along with some surface parking on the other side.
Yes, yes.
Any idea as far as how much? How many spaces?
No, sir, I don't have a firm number for
Okay.
you, and I apologize.
No, that's fine.
But if you look at the layout there, you've got that other lot on the other side. So whether
Right.
that's used for parking by the state during the day and the hotel in the evening time, or it's used as an exterior exhibit to draw people forth from the highway when they see gigantic boats or they see equipment, whether it's used as an exterior exhibit space sometimes, it's functional space that should be used. And it could also be used for growth at a later time. This isn't a 10-year project. This isn't a 20-year project. This is a project that when my kids are my age and much older, hopefully they can look at that and say, Dad didn't do too bad.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions over here to my left? Back to my right? Okay, seeing none at this point. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Ralph, go ahead.
Just a little slow there. Just to be clear, the bistro bar, hot food and adult beverages?
Yes, yes.
My packet of information includes the conference center on the west side of
Yes.
Broadway, but I also have a drawing that shows
Sure.
a conference center on the east side of Broadway.
Yeah. The reason I included that was from some earlier work that was done, and basically to just talk about what type of different spaces would be in that conference area. So there'd be pre-function space, there'd be back of house space, there'd be kitchen space, restrooms, and it also added to the fact that both sides of Broadway should be utilized in this project, and down the road, if you go with a right-sized conference center and hotel on this side, well then down the road something else could be on the other side too, if you see demand there and things. But I think it's important that the council, we got two great proposals here. Both of them have some different ideas, but I think the bottom line is, I guess let's get something done. Let's do something, and we're open to work with anybody and everybody to enhance the city and to make things work. And so really, we got some proposals here, but we're open-minded, and we're willing to really think outside the box to make this thing work. So.
All right, thank you.
Scott, I think Nathan had a question.
I think one of you, maybe it was you, Scott, that was saying this was 30,000 square feet of exhibit space, or
Could be.
and I'm seeing that exhibit says 22.
Yes, and it's drawn up as 22, and that was something that Jerry did earlier, and we kind of left it there, but it is adaptable. You can make it a little bit bigger. As far as the parking garage goes, you can put, if it's 3 levels, you can go to 4 levels. There's a whole bunch of adaptability here. We're really comfortable with 22,500. I know 30,000 was something that the city wanted. But I think when it comes to square footage and numbers, I think we're open to talk about things. But if it's another feasibility study to do, or you really want to focus on those numbers, kind of like what Kirk talked about, is we're open to different things. But we want something it's going to be vibrant, and it's going to be active, and it's going to be a great piece for the city long term. So.
And just so I'm clear on what we're looking at is sort of the base. I understand it's all subject to negotiation, but the base essentially that we're starting from is a 200-unit hotel, or possibly smaller. I assume that would save money on the project. Smaller hotel would save money, correct?
Correct. Yes.
But assuming we built it as designed here, I heard your architect say that it was 36 million.
Mm-hmm.
And does that include the parking garage or not include the parking?
Not include.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Nope.
Okay, any other quick questions? Bob, go ahead.
I would anticipate that the exterior finish on the conference center would be the same as, or certainly complement the exterior finish on the hotel.
Yes. Yes, it would. Yes. Yep.
Okay, any other questions from the council? Okay, seeing none. Gentlemen, at this point in time, before I turn it over, well, go ahead, Charles.
Thank you. Appreciate the information and very impressed with your experience and track record. Can you clarify what is included in the 36.8 and $9.1 million figures that are in your proposal? I think that's going to help clarify some of the other questions. Does the 9 million already included in the 36, or are they two separate numbers?
No, the total project, would be the hotel and the conference center, would be 36 million.
You're just giving us that as information of what the conference center piece was.
Conference center piece is 9 million.
Okay, and that's a subset of the 36?
Yes.
And that does not include the parking garage?
Correct.
Got it, okay. And it does not include land?
Nope,
All
doesn't
right.
include land.
Thank you. I just wanted to get
Yes.
that clarification. Is that pretty clear for everybody now? Okay, good. Your largest hotel that you've done, was it a public-private partnership, or was it all privately financed type of project?
I'll let Spike talk about the courtyard.
The courtyard downtown Tulsa was a 12-story Atlas Life building when we purchased it, and it was our own investments, and we did it all. But we did have some incentives there. We have a historic tax credit that we get for 5 years, which really helped out considerably. I think it was around $18 million that we total investment, and the tax credit over a period of 5 years amounted to a little over $4 million. So that helped quite a bit by getting the historic tax credits, and that comes every year. So after the 5 years, the loan will be down to $14 million, and then with paying down, we'll be down to probably 11.5 or so. So that made a considerable difference. That was one of the largest ones we did, and we did one last year in Springfield, Illinois, which was a Residence Inn by Marriott, and it was about a $12 million project, and we had no help there. But so does that answer?
Yeah, that did. So you suggest industrial revenue bonds, all right? And that would be really your capital source for the entire project. And would you anticipate equity going in as well to kind of round things out, or would it really be a fully financed project through IRBs?
I think we're open to discuss that and work together. I think we just got to work together on it.
Okay, I just wanted to understand.
Could be a blend.
Yeah, okay, thank you. The contractor was not noted in your information. So were your construction costs developed by a contractor, or were they done by your architectural team?
The construction costs I did just out of experience and history.
Okay.
And using some general industry averages. So, and we recently did the courtyard and the residence, and so as far as guest room and costs associated with that, we're probably pretty close. Pretty close.
Thank you. Just wanted to get the sense of background and backup for those numbers. The other question related to the Marriott, did they run pro forma numbers for you, or they did? Okay. No, not at this juncture.
Well, Marriott helped us a lot, and Marriott, I think, is kind of leaning towards probably the 200 is a little bit big for them too. They have a question if that's the right number.
Okay.
That number really has to be worked out with. I think just like Kurt Farmer mentioned, we just got to work together on it. And I think his figure was 127, and maybe I don't know what it should be, 127 or 150 or 200.
Depending on
But
design
we got to
or
work on
whatever.
that. I think we have to.
Okay, but at this juncture, operating pro formas haven't been really run. They've just been done internally, probably. They weren't presented as the package.
No, they weren't. And I think you can refer to your PKF study to be kind of maybe some similar costs associated with operating. We know how we run our hotels, and we that's why a 200-room hotel is probably something that we're leery of. One analysis would be on a 200-room hotel, you take and say, I mean, my thought that last 50 rooms is a little strong. In the PKF study, they talked about 20,000 unique visitors because of this conference center being built. And I guess I'd even be a little more robust and say there's 24,000 unique visitors that are going to spend the night. But you take that 24,000 divided by 365 days, that comes up with 70 room nights per day, per night. And then if you say it's a 200 room hotel, that's 30% occupancy for the hotel. Now the hotel can't survive on 30% occupancy, but they talked of, in the PKF study, they talked of running 60 or 65% occupancy. Well, that other 30 or 35% is coming from existing hotels. So that you're really, your burden on the other hotels, which are providing the 4% lodging tax, is pretty cumbersome when you get up to that 200 room hotel. So that's why, hey, a 50 room hotel is or a 150 room hotel is probably a lot more feasible, and it is actually, if when you do have overflow, and that overflow, that it enhances those other hotels in the area, and it definitely brings them on board with bringing in groups and supporting this conference center. So
We'll have to work together, not only us and the city, but we'll have to work with the other hoteliers here in town. Again, we're not there to steal market share. It doesn't do any good for us to just displace a room from a different hotel in town into here. We've got to bring in new business, and we want to make sure that it's advantageous for everyone. The location that we've chosen, the partners that we can have, it's very advantageous.
And obviously, we talked about the full service versus limited service, or what we call focused brand. You don't have a full service restaurant in your property per se at this juncture.
That's correct, sir. It's got the bistro bar.
Okay, good. All right. Mr. Mayor, Council, that's all questions I have.
All right, thank you. Here a few years ago, Darla and I found ourselves in Branson, Missouri. And while we were there, we walked over to the conference convention center that they have down on the landing. And at the time, I had just become a councilman, and I saw something that I thought was very intriguing. I saw two plaques. And it wasn't a plaque of one mayor and 10 council people. It was a couple different mayors, maybe even 3, and several different council members. So I think the key is that there's been an awful lot of people involved in this over a very long period of time. I would like to quickly introduce a couple people that are in the audience tonight. Roger Schwartz was instrumental in getting us this far. Also, Randy Allen, the president and CEO of our chamber. Former councilman Jim Pimfold was there at the beginning. He had to put it with me when I was a fresh councilman on this committee, and also former Mayor John Landwehr. And also, I'm sorry, someone was blocking me there. Also, former Councilman Dick Groner. Hopefully, I didn't miss anyone, but there's no doubt that we've been at this for a long time. Next, Charles, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Can you walk myself, the council, the city, our presenters on what the next steps will be?
Yes. First of all, I think what you received today was thoughtful. And it serves as a good framework to start working on. We would think that, I'm working on 3 different types of projects like this right now in Russellville, Arkansas, Des Moines, Iowa, as well as Madison, Wisconsin. And my experience...
I'm sorry, Charles, is your mic on?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sorry.
And my experience is that, I think a little more thought needs to happen. So I would recommend probably about a 60 to 90 day period to get to a point where you would have a development agreement. So in the next 30 days, we're going to task the development teams to provide information so we can have apples to apples information, and we're going to ask them to provide us information that for the alternative sizes, and then their management team's thoughts on how to operate that. And then we'll also prepare similar information. So that'll be in the next 30 days. After that, we would like to have a workshop with each team. Day 1, have one team. Day 2, another team, to have them understand back and forth. And then by the time we're finished with that, we're going to be in a position for them to finalize their offer to the city to have a tool for you all to work with. All right, and in addition to that, I think we could start working on term sheets and information with respect to proposals. I think that there's two policy issues that you as a city council have to come to grips with, and that's the size of the hotel and what you're trying to accomplish with the hotel. And we'll do some homework to help inform you on what the pros and cons are with respect to size and what seems to be appropriate for the market. And also, I think with respect to pros and cons of a downtown versus a mall location. And we don't know if that mall is so far away that it's not going to be an impact, or it may be close enough where it can work. We've seen convention centers and conference centers work on malls, and we've seen them fail in downtown settings and vice versa. So we want to help put together some information for you to have in a white paper. So for the next 30 to 60 days, it's kind of research, going back and forth with the development team and your staff, and then being able to present back to you some thoughts and recommendations and options for you. And I think that there is a desire also to have one forum with the public to kind of get their opinions and insights and thoughts about what and listen to the local community and citizenry as well. It's hard to say for me today for some reason. So that's really, so I think a 60 to 90 day process. We've offered to put together a schedule, and we're going to do that, and we'll issue that to you in the next day or so. So, to answer your question, Mayor?
Yes, I think so. Any other questions for Charles at this time from the council? All right, I think with that, we are probably, Mr. Drew, go ahead.
I just want to give a quick update. My spies on the outside say JCTV filmed this all without blinking. There was some disparity with the voice, but so far so good.
Okay, great. All right, with that, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Bray.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Scribner.
Aye.
All right,